Hey guys, come on in. Just gonna let everyone in. Welcome, welcome. Hey. Take a moment to oil up. I see you all oiling up. I love it. This is like the best part. We're all putting our oils on because it's that moment in the day where it's like, okay, it's that reminder, right? Do you have that reminder in the day where you're like, oh, I need to oil up? I love that we can do it like community oil up. And I was thinking too, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, okay, it's winter time. I think every Monday night should be jammy night, jamming on a Monday night in our jammies, because I am totally in my jammies. I see some of you in your comfies too, your comfy clothes. I'll be honest with you guys, Monday nights, every night, I'm usually in bed by 8 o'clock. I don't know, like when I had my firstborn, I was like, put her to bed, let's just like stay up. And now I'm like, put them all to bed and let's go to bed. Right, Katie? Yep. So Brooke was away this whole weekend. He just got back. He's actually conked down the sofa. And I was like, girls, put daddy to bed. Just go put him to bed. I think you can all carry him to bed. But we were all in my bed by like 7 o'clock, just watching a movie, and it was like the best because then we all just conked out. So fun. All right, welcome. I'm just gonna like wait just another minute to get started for our call tonight. Thank you all for joining us for this brand partner Q&A. This is for you guys, and we will record this. So that way, if anyone has questions or just wants to know a little bit more, you can share this with them. I'll post this on my YouTube and make this shareable. I know 8 o'clock, it's a tough time, right? So if you need to share this with anyone, you may. In the comments, I want you to share a goal. What is your goal as brand partnership and building a business? What is your intention right now? Is it to get your oils paid off? Is it to pay down debt? Is it to be able to cut back hours at your full-time job? Like what are your goals? I want to know them as we start. My name is Sarah Stutzman, and I am a platinum brand partner. I have been doing this for 7 years. Did y'all hear that? 7 years. So just like any business, this takes time. It takes intention. It takes consistency. It takes intentionality. So you can do this. The beauty of this is we can show up in our pajamas. We can show up in spurts of times, 5 minutes at a time. If you're washing dishes, you can go live while you're washing dishes and like share what, you know, and just share tidbits of your life in the little moments that you have. That is the beauty of having a home-based business, whether you work full-time or like outside of the home, or you work full-time in the home. So I'm just going to get started. Sarah Paul is here, Katie Smith is here, and we're all going to share our testimonies and how we got started, and share a little bit of each section of brand partnership and then just allow you guys to ask questions. This is for you guys. Okay, so Janelle says you want to get your oil and supplements paid for. Yes. And there is nothing, I feel like when we share about business, we want to, sugarcoat it and say, we want to help our friends. Yes, absolutely. We want to help our friends, right? We want oils in our friends' homes, but time has a price tag to it, right? And so, yes, we want to help our friends, but we get paid to help our friends, right? We get paid to say, okay, kids, you can do this for just 5 minutes. I'm going to hop on this like text message real quick, and I'm going to message my friend. Mommy's working now for 5 minutes, right? For 10 minutes. Time has value. And so we are not doing this for free. Okay. If you want to do this for free, go for it. But we get paid to help our friends. Okay. And that's the beauty of it. We get paid to help our family members. We get paid to, help those that we have built a relationship with over time. And so there's nothing wrong with that. Just like a doctor, you go and you pay for their time, right? Or a naturopathic doctor or whatever, but time has value. And so there's one thing. Who's Daddy? He should be on, is he? I don't know. Okay. Love you. We get paid to just show up. And sometimes what we're finding is, sometimes you may have people that reach out to you and are like, I signed up with Young Living a year or two ago, but the person I signed up with isn't doing the business anymore. And so I need support, right? So that person isn't showing up and helping, right? You can go to the health food store, you can go to Amazon, you can get oils, but the magical thing about getting your oils every single month in that box, you get oils, but you also get a community that supports you. You get people that come alongside of you, and you are united through just wellness and the kinship that these oils bring. So what are some of your others? Let's see. I want to see. Get your oils paid for. Yes. Okay. Melody says, get your oils paid for. Goal is to get oil supplements paid for every month, 400 plus. I want to put a pool in my backyard. Yes, Katie, no shame in that game. Love it. My kids would love that too. Replace hours at my job to get oils. Absolutely, Rebecca, and pay down debt to retire. Yes, Denise. And everyone has their why. So as we begin, I'm going to share a little testimony. I had resigned from teaching when Hannah was born. That's my second child. And that was just always our goal. I would resign from teaching and then go back when all of our children were in kindergarten and were in public school and, back in school. Well, Young Living came to us when Sawyer was about 6 months old, and she had a lot of health issues. And I said to my husband, when I looked at the income opportunity right away when I started, I was like, what if? Like everything aligned? We were homesteading, we were raising our own food, we were on this like natural lifestyle journey, I guess you could say. And I have always loved oils and herbs and natural living. And I said to my husband, what if we could, in 5 years, when she was a baby, right? In 5 years, when she would go to kindergarten, what if I wouldn't have to go back to teaching? And we could have that supplemental income that would supplement my teaching income. He's like, go for it, because I looked at the income disclosure. I don't know if Katie or Sarah, if you could put that up here, because we are talking about income. So legally, we have to put the income disclosure up. And it's really good for you guys to look at it too and dream, because that's what we did. And we looked at it and we said, yes, let's do it. And we just went full force. I had classes around my dining room table I invited whoever. I probably verbally vomited on them and shared way too much, but that's how we grew. We grew with in-home classes at that time, because at that time, in-home classes were a thing. And I think they're coming back. So fast forward 7 years, there has been a lot of hardship. There has been a lot of amazing high mountain moments. There's been many times where I'm like, I quit, I'm frustrated. And my husband is awesome. He like guided me through. We've had many personal development, professional development opportunities. So this business, I want to share with you, this business is easy. We refer people to Thrive Market. We refer people to Target. We refer people to, all of our favorite places. Why not Young Living, right? And reap the benefits of it. It takes the hard work. It takes the professional development. It takes the personal development of growing in ourselves. And so we're going to share how we get paid tonight, right? We're going to share the basics. But like I said, it starts with the hard work, okay? Believing in yourself, knowing that you can do this. And I often hear people say, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be salesy. Well, we are in the business of sales. Look at any advertisement out there, any commercial, whether it's a YouTube commercial. Gosh, those are, I'm scared to let my kids watch YouTube. They do watch YouTube, but there's some scary ads. Ads that are like billboards. Everyone is in sales. We are vying for people to come to the other side. I feel like that, like, come to the other side, to a life of wellness, because we have people that are watching pharmaceutical ads, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Subway, Burger King, all those things are coming at them, all the unhealthy things. And we're that light that's speaking truth to people. And so, yes, we are in sales, and it's okay. And we're going to do that in an authentic way. And that is sharing who you are and how you use these oils day in and day out. So do you have to know everything? Absolutely not. You get to share what you know and how you use these oils and how they have affected you in a personal way. So do you have to know the chemistry of oils? No. Do you have to know all the answers? No. You just have to share your story. And that's the most important part. So I'm going to share about just the basics of how you get paid as a brand partner. Sarah is going to share on rank. What are the ranks? And then Katie is going to share about how do you share? If you're an introvert, an extrovert, how do you get beyond your friends and family and build relationships? So as we go, ask questions, but we're going to allow this time together to be more of a Q&A, especially at the end, especially if there's something that wasn't, touched upon and that you have questions on. Okay, so we just had Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. How amazing were those sales, right? And the beauty of it is that all of the changes that Young Living made it easy for your friends and family to just go in to youngliving.com, add things to their cart, and then at checkout, they added your member number in the enroller and sponsor spaces. Super simple. And if you are brand new to this, you're like, yeah, that was easy. But if you have been with Young Living for a little while, you're like, hallelujah, right? Anyone? Because in the past, you had to have a kit, you had to already be a member. It was this complicated way of ordering oils. Now it is super normal. So anytime you have someone that wants like Ningxia Red or Super C Chewable or, Life 9 probiotic or the, just thinking of like some random things, right? Some random things that we have. The einkorn cereal, I know that's back in stock. Any of the snacks, like we have an entire line of wellness options. It's not just oils. We have all the einkorn snacks, all the einkorn cereal, all the Thieves cleaning line. Like we are not just an oils company, we're a wellness company. And that is what sets us apart, not just oils. So we need to break that stigma of not just being oils. So your friends can go to, and I want you to write this down. I don't share my link. Katie, Sarah, do you share your link? Sometimes.
I change it up. I go back and forth. It depends.
Yeah. I normally just say go to youngliving.com, add whatever you want to your cart, and then put my member number or referral ID, and then I give them my member number and add that to the sponsor enroller space and check out. Super simple. That's all you have to do. And when they do that, whether it's a chapstick or a Thieves cleaner or, an entire premium starter kit, you get 24% of their order, of their PV. And that's called the Fast Start Commission. And then if they order, say they order in December and then they order again in January and February, you still get 24% off of anything that they order. That's called the Fast Start Commission. Okay, that's Young Living's way of setting you up just to keep you going, right? And just to give you that excitement and help you as you build your business. So it's what I have learned from the beginning. It's imperative to help 2 to 3 people enroll every single month, because as they do that, you're going to get 24% commission from them, from their order, right? And then 3 months after as they order. After that, the commission goes to 8%, okay? And then it stays there. So it's Young Living's building you up as you are building your business, okay? Anyone that you enroll, so say you enroll Melody, and Melody then enrolls someone. You get 10% off of anyone that she enrolls. So if she orders a premium starter kit at 100 PV, you're going to get 10% of that. And if she orders again, then in January, you're going to get 10% of that. Okay. If I'm correct. Am I correct? I hope I'm correct on that. 10% for 3 months. Okay. So it also helps you as you're helping your members become brand partners too. Any questions on that? I want you to know the basics of how you get paid. It dives deeper and deeper and deeper, but I want you to know, as you are enrolling people as customers, you get 24% off of their order. I always like to help people get the free shipping, right? So at 100 PV, they're getting free shipping. And then I like to send a welcome gift. Katie, Sarah, do you guys send a welcome gift? Like a little, thanks for being here, right? I know Denise, you send a little welcome gift too. Yeah, okay. So just something like a little happy mail, even if it's a postcard, just to let them know like, hey, thanks so much for being here. Here's some recipes. It doesn't have to be much, but it's a little token of love in the mail, right? So as you are starting to build your business, we call that your first level, right? So if you enroll your mom, your sister, your cousin, your best friend from, childhood, a coworker, you are most likely, those are going on your first level. We call that your first level. And then if your sister enrolls her best friend, that would be your second level. Okay. And commission on that would be 5% then after the 3 months. Okay. So commission on each level is a little bit different, but on your first level at the first 3 months, it's 24%. And then after that, it's 8%. Okay. And here's the cool thing. So prior to all the changes that Young Living made in August, you had to order 100 PV to acquire your commission check. Okay. That's a lot as a business, as like a brand new business builder, right? 100 PV, even though like sometimes I know we have to hold back the reins, right? As we're ordering, but you know, all of us have a budget, but Young Living changed things. And so now it's not, all the weight is not on, you know, you as an individual, as a business builder, it's split up. So what Young Living calls it now is CV. So if you enroll your best friend and she orders 50 PV and you order 50 PV, that equals 100 CV, which is going to qualify you for commission. Okay. So as you enroll more customers, your CV is going to be less, right? It's going like, so if you can only do 25 PV in 1 month, right? And then your customers do 25 and you have, your other best friend and a coworker, they're ordering, it has to come to 100 CV, if that makes sense. But I do want to specify this. If you are a brand partner, I do highly suggest ordering on Subscribe to Save every single month at 50 PV. Why? You're experiencing oils that you've never experienced before. You are able to share with your friends and family what you're using. You are using them every single day in your home. Okay. You cannot build a business without using these products. Okay. That is one of the benefits of having a home-based business. I don't think I touched on that, but benefits of a home-based business is keeping your overhead low, right? You don't have a brick and mortar. You're doing this in your home. You have tax deductions. And some of those tax deductions are, the things that you order. If you're ordering Stress Away and you're making roller bottles for a few of your friends, but you're also using it in your home, that's a tax deduction. Okay. You can write that order off. If you are inviting people into your home and you're having classes and you have a space that's designated to having classes, whether it's in your kitchen or your dining room or your living room, you can write that space off. You can write off your phone expenses, your internet expenses. So we're going to talk a lot more about that in January, but there are benefits to having a home-based business. Write that in your calendar. Yes, Denise, do you have a question?
Yeah, don't forget that also if you buy any food, you have people in your home, that's a write-off. Also, your mileage. If you're driving somewhere, wherever you go to meet someone for coffee, you're buying them coffee, like those are all also expenses that you can write off.
Absolutely. Yes, Denise, thank you for sharing that. We're going to dive into that in January. At the end of January, our last Monday of the month in January is going to be all about taxes and what you can write off for your business. So that is a huge benefit of having a home-based business. So all the food, like Denise was saying, mileage, even like for me, I go to my mom's house every Thursday. Guess what? We're talking about oils, and it's just our normal Thursday conversation. My tax accountant says you can write that off. If you open a bottle and you're sharing it on, Facebook and Instagram on how you're using it, and you're using it to educate, you can write that oil off. So there are huge benefits. So your order that you order every month, if you're using it in your home, but you're also using it for educational purposes, that can be written off because you're using it for educational purposes. How are you going to educate if you don't have oils? Okay. How are you going to expand your knowledge if you don't have oils? How are you going to expand your experience and your stories and being able to share with your friends if you don't have oils? So it's part of the business, right? So your benefits of having a home-based business is so vital, and especially in these times. So I'm going to leave you with this. And if you have more questions on how you get paid, please message me or ask questions below. But I'm trying to keep it really, really simple for you guys. So that way you just know, like enrolling, helping new customers, helping your friends, helping your family members. Katie's going to talk about how to expand into your warm market. If you are working outside of the home, you can do this 1 hour a day and you can have a home-based business, okay? Because you can share on Facebook, you can share on Instagram, you can have one class a month in your home, you can have one class a month out of your home, and you can write that off as a home-based business. It is incredible to start that now. I started that 7 years ago. Yes, it takes time, it takes commitment, and it takes consistency, but keep at it. If you love what you do, it's just going to keep coming back. Okay. It's going to keep coming back to you. So Sarah's going to talk a little bit about rank. If you have any more questions about how you get paid, because that can go into a lot more depth, and I want to keep it really simple for you guys to know that it's 24% on your first enrollments. Sorry, I have little ones. So I just, as if you have more questions about that, how you get paid, let me know. So Sarah, can you share a little bit about the ranks: star, senior star, executive, and then silver? Because each of those hold a, a special place, because as you increase in rank, you also increase in paycheck too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to add about you saying about enrolling 2, a month. And I'm just going to take that one step further. If you enroll 2 a month, you have the goal to enroll 2 new members, and you teach them the same thing, that they enrolled 2 members. There's a statistic out there. I don't have it right in front of me, but it is amazing the growth that you would see on your team by just going through that one step and like going by that. You enrolling 2, and then those 2, you teach them just to share with 2 people a month. It's much more manageable. It's much more doable. It's not as scary. And with that consistent growth, those little steps make a huge difference in just 1 year's time about where your business is going to be, because it is about being duplicatable too. And that's the part that a lot of us don't talk about. We can do that sale, that one-time sale, once we kind of get over that hump, but then it's scary then to share with others about sharing for whatever reason that may be. So I just want to say, to make sure that you're being, open and honest, and that you're doing that person a service by letting them know that they could share as well, because it makes a huge, huge difference for you. And it could also make a huge difference for them too. I'm just taking a look at a question. So, all right, and I'm going to go over this right now. Laurel, I'm going to show you documents that are going to show you how you hit each specific rank and the difference between CV and PV. So for you old G's who've been around for a while, CV and PV is kind of confusing. For those of you who are just kind of getting into the business, it's not probably as confusing because it's just the way that it is. So I'm going to see I'm going to share my screen and just show you a couple documents and go over ranks with you. The beautiful thing is everything in here, if you are considered a brand partner, go into your virtual office. Oh, I'm here. Go into your virtual office and go under member resources. This is so nice the way that everything is laid out now. It's beautiful. I was in here just looking up compensation plans that I could talk to you about rank, also income disclosure. And if you even scroll down, there are compensation training videos. So as you are sharing with someone, you can say, go right to the website. Here is all the information that you need in order to get started. So all these videos are here. They're right here for you to get started. But first, what I wanted to share with you is this. This is like so important. So this is our compensation plan. And I strongly urge you to print this, and I strongly urge you to take a look at it. And I want you to look at it this way. I want you to look at it as, say that you're a star right now. I want you to look at star, and then I want you to look at 2 ranks ahead, just so that you can kind of get familiar with that, like where you're headed and how you can set up your organization. I didn't say explicitly that I was going to talk about anything with changing sponsors when you enroll a new member, but we'll kind of just like get into that really briefly, because that again is a whole different topic that we could talk about for a really long time. And that's really dependent on your organization. So what I recommend that you do when you have a new member or a new customer in your team or in your downline, talk to your enroller or talk to your nearest leader and kind of bounce ideas off of them, like about structuring your organization. I did this straight from the beginning, and I was able to really set up my 2 legs at first. And now I am gold. And I am working on, I have 4 legs, actually 4 pretty sturdy legs. Because I knew at platinum, which is my next goal, that I would need these legs. I would need 4 legs at 8,000 OGV. So I knew that back when I was silver. So I was thinking about how I could strategically place people when I had them as new members. So let's just start straight from the beginning at an associate. And when you are considered an associate, when you make a purchase of 100 PV, you unlock that discount. And then you also just make the decision to become a brand partner, okay? And you do that by purchasing a business essentials kit, which is for $30 on the website, and then that unlocks commissions for you. So you can see right in the column for associate, all you need to get paid is customer volume. That's the CV. And that's going to be the same for this entire creating a foundation part of the compensation plan. That only changes when you get to building your business. So for creating a foundation, the customer volume remains the same. That's 100, 100, 100, 100. And customer volume, as Sarah explained really well, that is anyone under you, anyone's purchases under you that are on your first line, your level 1. Okay, so a new customer who makes a purchase who is just right underneath you, if their orders total 100 CV, okay, then you will get paid. That can also include your personal order as well, which would be your PV, but all that is required is CV on any of these creating a foundation, and you will earn a paycheck. As an associate, just coming in, selling, a little something here, a little something there, you will get paid on level 1 and level 2, 8% and 5, and that's after the fast start period. So like how Sarah had also mentioned about that fast start period, that's the first 3 months that someone is a customer. under you, you will get a 25% commission rather than this lesser commission. This happens 4 months and beyond when someone is a member in your organization. Okay. And if you have questions, put them in the chat and I am happy to answer them for you too. So then for Star, it's the same exact thing. What is required of you, which is going to be that 100 CV or that customer volume. That can come from your orders or that can come from orders that are under you. But then your OGV, which is your organizational group volume, your total sales has to be at that 500 PV level and that, or 500 OGV, I apologize, that OGV level. So your total sales have to be 500. And then you can see that unlocks one additional level of commission under you at that 4%. Senior Star, it's the same. That 100 is your minimum in order to get paid. That can be your order or that can be anyone in your level 1 or a combination. And then your OGV is at 2,000. That unlocks a level 4. So that's like if you enrolled Sally, Sally enrolled Sandy, Sandy shared with Allison, Allison shared with Amanda, you would get paid a percentage on every single one of those orders. And then executive is where the leg structure starts to come in as far as it is with requirements. But like I said, I would like you starting to think about this when you're a Star, just so that you know where you're going, because you all have goals when it comes to hitting different ranks as well. And this is where the 100 CV is the same. Your OGV at that point, 4,000 total, including your personal volume. And you need 2 separate legs under you on your level 1 starting. So you need 2 people with people under them that have 1,000 OGV in both at least. And then that unlocks another layer of commission. So with each rank, you get paid more and more because you have different levels underneath you that are being unlocked. And then with silver, that's where things get a little bit different. So as far as, I know that you had a question, Laurel, and I'm not seeing anything right now. Sarah, can you read her question for me?
Let me find it.
Sorry.
When I order between 50 and 99 PV and have my quota of CV, it shows that I am commission qualified, but it doesn't show that I have a rank even when my numbers qualify. I have to order 100 PV for my rank to show up. I guess that's normal.
That might be normal for hitting a new rank. In addition, if your level 1 person, anyone on your level 1 is a brand partner, I just want to like also make that. If they're a brand partner, then they don't count towards your CV. It has to be customer volume. So it's going to be customers on your level 1, not a brand partner on your level 1 as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's a great question. And I feel like I saw that in the gold group this week too, Sarah. Do you mind taking note of that? We can kind of check. Okay.
Yes.
And then for silver, that's where things change just a little bit because CV no longer is in play. It's now your personal volume. So it's not until silver where you are personally responsible for 100 PV a month in purchases. However, over here, like Sarah had said before, it's really recommended that you start, using the products, being a product of the product. That way you can share testimonies, you can share stories, you can share remotely, or you can share in person. How else are you going to share about the products if you don't actually use them? Right? Like, I don't know. I feel like I can see through things like that when people share things and they're clearly not like, doing the walk. Not saying you have to do all the things. I say do things like authentically that you and your family actually use and benefit from. So that's 100 PV, your personal volume. And then your OGV is 10,000 total in your entire organization of sales in 1 month. And your leg structure is 2 legs. So those 2 legs, the same 2 legs that got you to executive, or different ones, but ideally those same 2 legs would be at 4,000 OGV a piece. And then you can pick up that other 2,000 to equal 10,000 any way you like. And then there's also the 1,000 PGV as well, which is going to be outside of your 2 qualifying legs. So that would be 4,000, 4,000 makes 8,000, 1,000 maybe in your 3rd leg because you're thinking about hitting gold next. So you're starting to build a 3rd leg, and then 1,000 OGV wherever you want it to be. It could be in that 3rd leg, your 2nd leg, or your 1st leg. And then you can see the different commission levels that are unlocked. And then you also have personal generations, which I'm not going to talk about right now, but that's like an additional bonus. So if you have questions about that, let me know. And the other really important document that's in here, like I said, go and print these out, share these with people. I would give these in every new welcome packet, like the income opportunity or the income disclosure. I feel like that should be given to everyone, just that people know that it's an option. So here's our 2020 income disclosure. It's in the same exact spot as all the other documents that I showed you. And you can see here the different ranks. You can see the annual income, lowest, highest, and average. And you can see all of that information that's right here. So I would love to know for you, what rank do you feel would be life-changing, just like right now for you? If you were solid, whatever rank, what would be life-changing for you at this moment? And that doesn't mean that that's your final rank or anything like that, but what would make an impact for you and for your family, looking at the averages for these ranks? Let's talk about that.
Denise said gold, senior star. Angela said junior star. Melody said senior star. And you guys, like, seriously, when I got started, I looked at what silver was and I was like, wow, I think I could, that would help. Like, it wouldn't be my teaching income, but it would at least be what I could make. I wouldn't have to pay for gas to run to school. I wouldn't have to pay for childcare, all those things. So think about what would be like your goal for you at the moment. And then think ahead, like Sarah said, keep thinking ahead. Because I know that, this whole knowing the compensation plan can be overwhelming. And even I got it wrong. Like I was saying 24%, but it's 25%. I don't know where I get 24%.
It's the discount.
I think it's the discount. It's like runs, 24 and 25. Rebecca said silver. Natasha said gold. You guys have amazing goals.
Yeah. And they're achievable.
They are.
And this is fluid too, because that's when I started. I've been doing this for 4.5 years. And when I started, I remember just being like, oh my gosh, if I could just earn, a couple extra $100 a month, like how big of a difference would that make? If I could just, and then it went from, for me, it was groceries, affording organic groceries. And then it went to, oh my gosh, I can afford like the good products. This is amazing. And then I can afford the good supplements. And then, wow, you know, now I'm offsetting so many other costs for my family.
Mhm.
So I'm going to stop sharing. Go and print out these documents. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. And I'm going to kick it off to Katie, and Katie's going to talk a little bit more about sharing.
Thanks, guys. That was awesome information. And thanks to everybody too for showing up on a Monday night. Like, I'm with Sarah. It is like, it's bedtime. Like, seriously, it's no joke. Mondays are rough. So I'll just touch real quick on how to expand past your warm circle. And when, like, we talk about, like the markets, like the hot market is your like immediate family, friends, right? I don't know. Maybe I don't even know all the terms, honestly, because like, who really cares? We just know we need to talk to people. Like, your warm market would be people you kind of know, but don't really know real well. And then your cold market is like, those are people you're like cold calling or just walking up to, you know, in the grocery store or whatever. But so we kind of touched on like, well, how do you do this without being salesy? And like Sarah said, like, we are in sales, like we literally want to sell you a product, but here's like where you can work on some mindset things and change the way that you think. Because if you are thinking, wow, I'm in sales and I really want you to buy my product, no matter what you say, however you say it, it's going to come across as needy and come across as like you're desperate, like you are desperate for their sale. You need their money. That's how that comes across, whether you say that or not. But your mannerisms, your wording, it'll probably come out that way. How you can start changing your thinking to expand your market is to start realizing that you have something very valuable to give that person, to offer and educate that person, to empower them. You have something very valuable that can change their life, like whether it's a product or whether it's the business. Or what we don't talk about a lot either is the purpose. So when you talk about this company and our, you know, the byline that they have is wellness, purpose, and abundance. Well, I'm sure Sarah and Sarah could both speak to that too, that like when you start sharing and you start seeing people's lives change, you find purpose in that. There's people on my team who have gotten off of antidepressants. There's people on my team who manage like high blood pressure. And so these are people that are being empowered in their health with something that you shared with them. Maybe you didn't specifically share that and they came across it, but you shared this company, you shared this product, and it's changing lives. And so you have to think about, like, you're not just changing that person's life, because honestly, like, they're probably going to tell people about it, and they're probably going to raise their kids in a different way because you chose to share with them. So you are not only impacting that person, you're impacting generations to come. So when you start to think about that and you start to think about the purpose behind this, the whole salesy part kind of takes a back seat, and you're like, you have a purpose to go share this stuff. And the other thing, talking about abundance, like when I first started and I would hear all these people like, oh, I just want to make this amount of money so that I can give and I can share. I'm like, yeah, good for you. I want the money. Like, because my husband was like, if you want to keep buying these products, like, we got to figure out how to pay for them. I'm like, okay, done. Like, we'll do this thing. Excuse me. I'm still getting over some stuff. So the abundance part of it, like, I will be really real with you. Like, I love getting my products paid for. I was able to pay off my car payment, putting money aside now every month to take my family on vacations that we want to do. And the real, like this, so the military right now really stinks. And my nephew is a Marine and is in a really hard spot in the Marines. And it's, I was able to send him money today for a plane ticket to come home. for Christmas. So from Young Living paycheck, like that would not have been something that I'm going to cry, but like, it's amazing what happens when you start having extra income and how you can help serve and love others. And that is not something that I would have been able to do out of our like family budget, especially under the radar of my husband. Like that would not have happened. So, but I was able to take my Young Living money and do that and bless them in that way. And like, I'm just so incredibly thankful. So just like think about things that you like that are on your heart that would mean so much to you to be able to help with. And when I first started this business, I don't even know, 7 years ago, I wouldn't have even thought that that would be a possibility. Like I started out too with my goal of getting my oils paid for. And once that happened, it was like, okay, what next? Now what can I do? Now what's next? So your goal can constantly be changing, and don't ever feel bad about your goal, because your goal was like, it's put on your heart for a reason, and like, be proud of that. Like I felt really selfish and rude in the beginning. I was like, yeah, I just want the paycheck. I like someday maybe I'll give it away. But for now, like I want it. And like, some of you talking about you want to pay down debt, you want to be able to retire, like good, like run for that, because that's giving you and your family financial freedom. Like there's no shame in that game. That's like being wise. That's wisdom. So how can you do that? How can you share? Well, let me go back to the salesy part real quick. I'm sorry. If you are adding value to someone's life, you're not being salesy. So how can you do that? And we'll talk like both ways, like in person and social media, because we're all probably doing a little bit of both of that. On social media, if you are adding value in other ways besides just Young Living products, people will start seeking you out. So think about some ways that you can add value to other people. And if you were like me in the beginning and you can't think of a darn thing because you don't see any value or worth in yourself, ask some close friends or family, like people that you really trust. Ask them, like, what's a way that I add value to your life? And I had to do that with some friends, and they were very honest with me, and like, different things that they would point out, and like, well, you're really good at like sharing that kind of thing, or like talking about this kind of thing, or inspiring others to do that. And like, I needed that encouragement. So, but even if it's one of us that knows you well, talk to us. We can help you figure out maybe, what your niche is and what's good. Like, even if you're just once a week sharing a recipe that your family loves to make, that's simple and easy. Like, just if you're giving people value, and by value, that's anything, something that any way that's going to ease something in their life, you're sharing value with them, and that's not being salesy. So then when you throw in some product use, you're adding value. You're not going in for a sale. You're adding value. Like when you're sharing that ImmuPro, like, dude, knocks you out and it's amazing sleep, you're adding value. You're not trying to sell something. But then when you go to add your link at the bottom, in your stories, and you're like, or how Sarah said, you just put in there, go to Young Living, put in my referral. Like, you're not being salesy. You're simply giving them the how-to. Why would you tell them about a product that you love and then not tell them how to get it? Like, I don't know, when I share that I love this coffee from the local coffee shop, I'm like, I give the name of the coffee shop and I'm like, go there. Like, tell people what to do and how to do it. You'd be kind of surprised. People like to be told what to do. Even if they don't like act like it, they do. So, and then how to get into a warm market, like to get and expand your circle and get to know other people. Like Sarah mentioned, if you have a goal, which is a great goal of bringing in 2 people a month, and then encouraging them to bring in 2 people, offer to go teach for someone, like the 2 people that you're bringing in that month. Say, hey, how would you like me to come gather a couple friends? How would you like me to come and, share about these products? And that's a way that you can expand into other people's circles as you're growing your own and building your own team. I I think it's really important to find, and also going into like, I know Janelle had mentioned, you know, how do you do this when you're more of an introvert than an extrovert? And I know some of you would find this really hard to believe, but I am definitely more introverted. It gets a little too people-y out there for me. I do prefer to be at home by myself, but when I'm around people, I love people, but I prefer the small conversations over the big crowds. And I think what's hard for us as brand partners is that when you're on social media, you see and you follow the brand partners that post a lot about the big events that they do, the big classes, and how they get so many people there. And you kind of start to think, well, then I need to do that. And that can be really overwhelming. But what people don't share a lot, and actually I saw Amanda Rose Cooper, I think that's her name. She's a Young Living Platinum. And I follow her because I like her stuff. And she actually just shared in her stories the other week about a small class that she was doing in her living room. And she's a platinum and she's still doing these classes in her living room, which I was really inspired by that, because that's how I grew, is just by doing the little classes for people. And I would ask people, can I come teach for some of your friends? And they would gather friends. And we kind of got away from that a little bit with COVID. Like we started doing a lot of Zoom calls. And then, I don't know, we started doing like big gatherings here at my house too. And like, those are fun. And those are a great way to bring people in to educate them. But I feel like to get people started, it's almost the small gatherings, because you can give personal attention and you can share so much more in person, share so much more truth, I want to say. So I think to expand your circle, ask people if you can come, you know, share. And like Sarah said, you don't so funny. Like Sarah said, which one, who said it? I don't know. There's 2 Sarahs. You don't have to know everything. You just start sharing from your heart. That's how you add value. Share the product that you are loving and what's working for you. I think Janelle, you had told me one time, like every order you try to add something new. You like to try something new every month. And I think that's a great thing to do, because then you're really expanding your product line. You're expanding things that you can talk about and share with people. So trying new products and then just getting out and telling people. And I have had success with both sharing in person and online. I know some people really get like, I don't want to share online. I just don't want to do it. That's okay. You have to decide what works for you. And there are times where I want to pull back 100% off of social media, because I really have a love-hate relationship with it. But I want to say the last 20 people that have joined my team that I've personally enrolled have come from something I've posted on social media. So I can't like look at those numbers and be like, oh, yep, see ya social media. Like there's value in it. It's just learning to balance it, I guess, is, share a little bit, but maybe don't let it consume your life, which it can do, which I'm sure we all know and are familiar with. So I guess my big thing is to be adding value to other people. That's going to help you expand your market, because people are going to come to you or look to you in other ways, not just Young Living products, when you're adding value. So think about a hobby you have, or like a market that you could tap into. And by market, I mean, like, are you a homeschooling mom? Could you tap into other homeschooling mom? Are you a public school mom? You can tap into the PTA and all those things. Just find other ways to connect with I don't know how else to say it, with connecting points, how you can connect with others, things that you have in common. That's what I'm looking for. Things you have in common. Look for those things and then connect with other people. I had another question, but the lady she is not on the call tonight. So that's something that I can talk to her about too at another time. Her question was, how do you share with Amish moms, people that don't have access to the internet? So that's a question for another time.
Well, that's a good point though, Katie, because I think all that you said was super valid. And I feel like in this day and age, we have to connect in so many different ways. When I got started, it was like Facebook, and Facebook, you had all the events, right?
Mhm.
Through Facebook and then in person. But now it's through text message, email, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram. I mean, there's so many apps that you can connect with. And then there's phone calls too. So I think with our Amish members or those that are just disconnected, folks are just disconnected. There are people that are pulling back and taking back their life through, being with their families, and it's just giving them a phone call. So print out your downline. For that answer, I would say print out your downline, and make it a weekly or bi-weekly touch point and call them, check in with them, especially Amish. I would just check in with them with a phone call, and see how they're doing. Plan classes with them. And I think Melissa, our diamond upline, she would probably have a lot more answers to that, because I know she has a whole Amish leg that she connects with. Mailers, sending happy mail. I know I like to do quarterly mailers for my personally enrolled. So I go to Etsy and I will download, a PDF and go to, Staples, or what's that one? There's so many different print options online too, and print those postcards and just send postcards with a little happy note on the back. So happy mail is really nice to touch base with your members.
Yeah. So I think her question was, well, how do you share? Like, how can they order? How can they, I mean, that's good information too, but, so I did double check today. The low tech line is still up and running and available. So Young Living does offer a specific phone number. They call it the low tech line, for people who are not online, or for anyway. Like, I have actually a couple elderly people on my team who's, like, in the beginning, I was placing their order for them, because it was too overwhelming for them, and they didn't have access to it. So there is a low tech line. I have a graphic for it. I'll post it in somewhere in the event, in the Facebook event for this, so you guys can pull it off of there. And you can just give that to people who don't want to mess with online. They can call right in, and the Amish can call in. They do have phones. Just
They do.
yeah, they can call in and place their order, and process it that way. So yeah, that was that question.
Yeah. And that's where, like, in-home like classes too, and having them for your Amish or low tech people. And then, Sarah, you have, you had created, you can create these, and this is where it comes down to, Young Living has over 500 products. You're not going to share all those products. I want you to find 5 things, maybe not even 5, maybe it's 3 things that you love to share about. Mine is Ningxia Red, Thieves, and then I love Thyramin too, and sharing about that over and over and over and over again. So think about the things that you use every single day, and you're sharing about those. And if you have a class, maybe you're going to share about those, or you share about 5 different things in your class, and you make a document, and the item number and how to order it, and they place their order. You help them place that order at that class. So it's just like you're recreating those in-home parties, but you're creating that document to meet that in-home party. You're not bringing like a sheet that has all 500 products. It might be just the 5 or 10 items that you're talking about that night. And then you help those members, or potential members, place those orders, right? So you can do that with Amish. You can do that with anyone. So let's take some questions. It is 9:06, so I want to be mindful of your time. Yes, always listening for their needs. Any specific questions that you have? I'm going to open this up. I know it is past 9. We have gone way past time.
We're
So
a couple
Melody, you're
questions.
having, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw 2 questions that came in, Sarah. Natasha had a question about there's so many options, directions with Young Living. There's something for everyone. With cold selling, what's the best product to pitch them? So I have a generic approach and not salesy as in, oh, we have a product for you.
Yeah.
So I think I understand your question, but if I'm off base, just let me know. So I feel like the most important thing, and I'm talking about like cold as in, I'll give the example of like an Uber driver or a manicurist who's doing my nails. Like I've signed up multiple nail tech people when I've been in different places too. And it's just the most important thing is listening. So we know that we have a solution for anything and everything, including an income opportunity. And I feel like it's called qualifying the person, which is more just like what would serve them or what would benefit them most. And you find that out by asking questions. And you're not going to be salesy if you're coming from a place of service, because if you ask enough questions about the person and about their life, they are going to tell you usually a problem. Like 9 times out of 10. Have you guys had this happen where people will just tell you things? Like they will tell you lots of things. If you talk less and listen more. So I would say that is my best advice for those situations. However, I know that I've asked Denise to share this before too, that she would always carry, like when we were doing the PSK, she would always have those oils in her purse, little tiny bottles, and she would go one step further and say, oh, like say the person was complaining about a headache or head tension, right? You can imagine the oil that she would put in that little bottle, she would give to that person, and she would encourage them because of the boss that she is to put it on right then and there. And by the end of that Uber ride, that Uber driver would be getting that oil because they would have some relief. Okay. So it's like being prepared. I used to carry little baggies in my purse, which I'm going to start doing again, with an oil, with a card in it, with my information in it. But it's always about getting that person's information as well. That's the most important thing, not just throwing off a sample and not just throwing off a card, because that's a misconnection. So making sure that you always truly connect with that person and get their information as well, I think is the most important thing. But as far as like a one size fits all, I don't think there is one. But I just listened at Diamond Bound to a woman who was a Royal Crown Diamond who built her entire business off of her market was constipated moms. So she would just talk to moms and she would find the ones who weren't pooping and she would give them DiGis and they would start pooping. And that's how she built her entire business. It was like potty to potty. And people just started like, that's literally still to this day. She said that's what she shares about because that changed her life. So I feel like social media world, you have to share what truly changed your life and is changing your life. As big or small as that may seem to you, that's what's going to resonate because that's your truth. And when you're cold with someone, it's about getting to know that person and getting to know their needs by asking questions. There you go. That's mine.
Well said. Well said. You change your cold market to a warm market through relationships and listening. Yep. Well said, Sarah.
And I'll add in too, something that's been really cool to learn. Some event I was at, this is why events are important to go to, was talking about connecting with people. And I've done this before, like Sarah said, like you just give them a business card and a sample and then they don't ever call you. A great way is to actually just, depending on the situation, but hand them your phone or vice versa. Say, hey, are you on social media? Like, let's connect on Instagram. Let's connect on Facebook and get connected with them that way. That way they start seeing all the stuff you're posting, number one. And number two, now you have a connecting point of reaching out to them and you have their contact information. So if you're not like totally what's your contact number or your phone number? If you don't want to do that, you can just, connect with them on social media and go that route.
Yeah. And Sarah, I know you do this too, like having sign up lists. Like I have a Zyto scanner, I have an iToby, They're devices that, if you're familiar, that can tell you what your body is needing. And so I like to just have those, or a sign up list for, hey, would you like to have a class with me? Put your name here and I'll contact you and we'll talk about a date. Like then you're getting their information as well. So always have something to get their information. Always. So business cards are good, but getting their information is better. Melody says, I am having a wreath making gathering this weekend. How can I incorporate products with this? Oh, so good. So anytime, like I don't know, I thrive on this, having classes that aren't specifically oil related. I love doing this, and then weaving in that lifestyle. So whether it's elderberry, like teaching people elderberry syrup, and then, teaching jacked up honey with it, or putting your oils in that elderberry syrup, or having your diffuser going while people are there. As far as having a wreath making class, you can make a spray, and you can have, a wreath spray so that you can freshen that wreath up, or a room spray. Some of you are already putting your comments in. Yes, oils on pine cones. You can do oil infused pine cones. You can drop cinnamon bark on pine cones so that they can be, scented, like room scented. Diffuse all the awesome oils, Sarah said. Yes. So oil infused pine cones, dropping like cinnamon bark and orange and Christmas spirit on those pine cones as well, and making a wreath refresher spritzer would be so fun. So your classes don't necessarily need to be oil based. Think outside the box and think of fun things that are going to add value to people's lives, but then weave oils in. Always think of ways to weave oils in. If you're not sure, shoot us a message and say, hey, I have this idea. How can I weave oils in? I'm going to leave it at that because I think it was a full night. If you have more questions, please reach out to us. But the last, let me look at my calendar here. We have a full lineup for December. So December 6th, Sarah is going to be talking about herbal and oil infused mocktails. The 13th, Katie has her friend April Wender coming, talking about how to survive the holidays emotionally. The 20th, Sarah Ali is going to be talking about healthy habits. We all have addictions, all of us. We all have addictive tendencies. And so whether it's kicking sugar, tobacco, alcohol, shopping, ways to start curbing those addictions to healthier habits. And then the 27th is tax time. We're going to talk a little bit more about how the benefits of having a home-based business can benefit you and what you can write off for your taxes come the new year. So thank you so much for joining tonight. If you have any more questions, reach out to one of us. Bye, guys.